again?
Yeah, well, that's just like your opinion, man.
Hello, I'm Khalil Hacker, and thank you for accidentally tuning in to another episode here on Slacker Reviews. What's that? These videos are coming out regularly now? Yeah, I'm gonna try working on that a little bit more. I'm sorry I was gone for so long. We're gonna work on this, you and me, together. We'll get through this. Come here, come on, give me up, give me up. American Ultra was directed by Nima Nourizadeh. I'm sorry if I messed up that name. It's a difficult name. And it stars Jesse Eisenberg, Kristen Stewart, and a side character from pretty much all of your favorite shows. The story follows a young couple of pothead slackers who live in a ridiculously small town. Like, seriously, Jesse Eisenberg's character works at, like, a mini mart, like, all by himself, with no other workers and no other customers coming in. It's a really, really, really small town. Anyway, Jesse Eisenberg gets these unexplainable panic attacks, which harms their relationship a little bit, because they try to go on vacation, but they can't go because he gets a major panic attack before the plane leaves. Then the movie turns into an entirely different movie. We start following Connie Britton as she works for the CIA. Then we find out that Jesse Eisenberg is some kind of experiment that the CIA did a while ago, and they find out that he's trying to leave the country, which is why he's getting these panic attacks. Like, he physically can't leave this little small town. And so because he tried to leave, the CIA wants to kill him, specifically Topher Grace. So to save Jesse Eisenberg, Connie Britton goes down to the town, and she says this, like, CIA mumbo-jumbo, and it awakens him like a sleeper cell. And it turns out that Jesse Eisenberg has all of this, like, really cool knowledge, and he knows Kung Fu, like Keanu Reeves in The Matrix. I know Kung Fu. And then all of the antics of the movie ensue. So, Jesse Eisenberg's in the lead of this movie, and let me say Jesse Eisenberg is one typecast son of a gun. This is every other Jesse Eisenberg role, but with pot. I will say, though, this was probably one of my favorite roles of his. He gave this character a lot of, like, weird little quirks that just made him a little more interesting. And he really held his own during the comical fight scenes. Like, they were good. He did well. I'm proud of him. I'm proud of you, Jesse Eisenberg. And Kristen Stewart plays his girlfriend. And they make an oddly good couple. Like, I've heard that they made a good couple in Adventureland, but I still haven't seen that. But they made a really believable couple. I felt for them. I was like, oh, they're cute. I don't really look at couples and go, oh, they're cute. So, good job on that, guys. Although, like, most of her dialogue started with the word babe. I kind of want to count all the times that the word babe is used by her character. Like, every time she opens her mouth, the word babe starts it off. It's just something that once you notice, you just can't unnotice. So, you're welcome. Also, there's a little plot twist near the end of the movie that involves her character that I just didn't really believe, frankly, because it was Kristen Stewart. But, whatever. And then there was Topher Grace. Topher Grace's character in this movie was just annoying. Like, I know sometimes it's a good thing for the villain to be annoying because that's what they're going for and they're doing their job. But Topher Grace was just annoying in this movie. Like, it wasn't his character, it was him. He just overacted. He tried way too hard. I didn't want to punch his character in the face. I wanted to physically punch Topher Grace in the face. And I'm sorry, Topher Grace, if you somehow watch this someday, but dude, come on. I do, however, want to mention Walter Goggins' character in this movie as Laffer. He's just like one of the CIA's minions, but he gave it such humanity. Like, he was like one of their experiments gone wrong, and he was kind of adorable. I kind of wanted to give this guy a hug, even though he was like a ruthless killer. I just wanted to give him a hug and say it's gonna be okay. And as I mentioned earlier, There are a lot of TV actors in this movie. And I mean a lot. You will find people from at least one of your favorite shows in this movie. Connie Britton from American Horror Story. Topher Grace from That 70s Show. The guy who played Huel in Breaking Bad. Walter Goggins from Justified. Tony Hale was in this movie. Buster from Arrested Development. He was in this movie. I was like, Buster! And Bill Paxton. They got Bill frickin' Paxton in this movie at one point. Also, John Leguizamo? Is that? Luigi from the terrible Mario Brothers movie. He was in it too. It was just a lot of character actors. It was fun. It was fun to go, you, you, you. And in this movie, the story was just okay. It tried way too hard to be too many different things. Like, it tried doing a Zombieland thing where it mixes two genres together, but it just didn't do it well, you know? It didn't focus on what it was really trying to be. Instead of morphing two things together, it would be one movie, and then it would be a completely different movie. And I didn't like it. I didn't like that. It was bad writing. Didn't like it. And all of the CIA stuff, I mean, honestly, that's what I had the biggest problem with, was all the CIA stuff. I don't know, maybe it was just Topher Grace. Maybe Topher Grace just left a bad taste in my mouth, and every time he was on screen, it just got mad. Also, the story kind of reminds me of that NBC show Chuck. Does anyone remember the show Chuck? This movie's a lot like Chuck, but with pot. And for directing, it was helmed by Nima Nourizadeh. Nima Nourizadeh. He directed Project X. I never got around to seeing that one, but it didn't look like my cup of tea, so I don't know if that does anything for you. It's from the director of Project X. Hey. And a lot of his directing had some good potential in this movie. Like, early on in the movie, there was a lot of interesting shots. Also, I want to talk about one shot in particular. There was a long take, guys. There was an action scene that was a long take, and I think we all know how I feel about long takes. It was surprisingly well done. I was happy with that. That was probably my favorite part in the movie. That long take. It was good. It felt good right there. So overall, this movie just wasn't very memorable. Usually after seeing a movie with friends, we go out to eat, we discuss the movie, we talk about it a little bit. But with this one we didn't. We just kind of left and then continued with our shenanigans. Our Khalilscapades, as I like to call them. And I woke up the next morning and I remembered hanging out with friends and I remember seeing a movie. But for the life of me, I couldn't remember what movie we saw. That's not a good thing. I love movies. I analyze movies hardcore. It's not a good thing when me, Khalil, can't remember the title of a movie. Or even what it was. And I don't say this very often, but I really think this movie should get a sequel. With the sequel for this movie, they might have a bigger budget maybe, and also more of an idea of what they're trying to do. Because the way it ended, it seemed like they were kind of picking up a certain thing, and I wouldn't mind continuing that if they would just continue on that path and stay directly on that path and just not have Topher Grace as a villain. He was annoying. I wanted to beat him up. And I'm a pacifist, and I wanted to beat him up. But I don't think that's gonna happen because this movie kind of pooped at the box office. Like, even the director was kind of mad about it. But, you know, hey, what are you gonna do? So, the time has come. What you've all been waiting for. I'm going to give the movie American Ultra Seven out of 10. That's not saying this movie's a terrible movie. It's alright. It has its moments. Walter Goggins, that amazing long take. It's probably a rental. Maybe rent it. Or see it at like a matinee price. I know here locally we do like $5 Tuesdays. Like, don't pay full price for this ticket. So, did you agree with this video? You should tell me about it. You should tell me about it right down there. right down there. Click the little thumb, dude. Click that. Maybe even subscribe. Huh? That'd be cool. Not only should you subscribe, but you should tell, like, literally every single person that you know to subscribe. Like maybe you're sitting on an airplane and you're, like, awkwardly close to somebody. And to make small talk, you should go, hey, see that funny little bearded guy who does movie reviews? Huh? You should check him out. Did you not get your Jesse Eisenberg film? Well, you should go over and check out my 30 minutes or less review. Should go check that out. Because I think right now it's a total of like 5 views. So why don't you go boost that one up a little bit? Jesse Eisenberg tie-in. Yeah. And as always, watch movies, my friends.